Amazon is taking a lot of flack for the working conditions in their warehouses. They employ a lot of people. A lot of people actually know what it's like to work in an Amazon warehouse. A lot of people are thinking about the sustainability of huge companies getting bigger. Amazon just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And they're thinking about buying locally. They're thinking about buying sustainably. But I think there's like a darker side of the story, which is Amazon's raising its wages in a tight labor market. They they're increasing the amount of automation in their company, and they're pushing for that minimum wage increase. They're basically raising costs on their competitors as they push more automation into their own workplace to lower their own costs. It's a pretty savvy move. I asked Matt Iglesias at Vox.com today about it. He said Walmart did this in the mid-aughts. You can see Amazon running the exact same playbook now.
And Walmart is the good contrast, is that they're trying to avoid a Walmart scenario, which for years they've been tagged for the same issues, that they're sort of a sag on sort of the local infrastructure, on sort of, Medicaid benefits or local infrastructure costs, that basically governments are footing that bill. And that's what Bernie Sanders has been trying to go after Amazon for. So it was a calculated move politically, as well as regarding their move towards automation. At the same time, they probably had to do it anyway, even without those pressures, because of the tightening labor market. How are you going to attract these workers? You heard Dave Clark say that, attrition has sort of slowed down. If it's slowing down for them, it's slowing down for everyone else. There are fewer people to get these workers from. The higher wages was necessary anyway.
Yeah, and I always wonder, when you go to one of these Amazon fulfillment centers, they're often not in population centers. They're sort of off the beaten path. They don't have a big community to draw from. And so when labor conditions get tighter, doesn't it get even harder? I mean, how many employees are going to drive very far or move their families for a low wage to work at a distribution
or in a
center?
part-time situation, right? Where, there are so many people working several part-time jobs to make ends meet, and employers will start to take advantage of that new dynamic, the sort of so-called gig economy dynamic, where they don't have to foot the bill for a longer period of time, sort of the spot worker as needed. I think the closer Amazon moves towards full-time employment for most of its employees, the better off everyone will be, of course, but that's a cost that we don't know what the cost of this is going to be. It's going to certainly increase, but their sales, we don't have that.
We don't have the A to the B. They don't give us that. I think it's interesting. Your point about them having no choice is a good one. But all we ever do is talk about other companies having to spend on e-commerce to match Amazon's distribution scale. And now they basically said, we're going to give you a two-front war. Not only do you have to invest to keep up with us on scale, but we're going to increase your labor costs as well if you're going to match us.
Oh, absolutely. And I think as you go into the holiday period, Amazon knows it has to deliver those packages on time. PepsiCo's CEO is out today saying, I can't get drivers to deliver Pepsi. There's a huge amount of logistical work where Amazon can keep pushing up costs, winning and winning and winning, and saying, we're definitely going to deliver your presents for you on time for the holidays. Walmart might not be able to.
And delivery has been a huge part of the e-commerce game. I mean, that's really, it used to just be you have a website, you can buy stuff from it. That's not the real linchpin. The linchpin is, can I get it to you in a consistent delivery frame? That's what Amazon has cracked, and that's how they're really winning.
The other thing we haven't talked about is the idea that costs could get higher once these tariffs really kick in on January 1st, the additional layer of tariffs to the 25%. So now these retailers are potentially paying more for their items or the components that go into them. They're paying more for drivers, they're investing in e-commerce, and maybe they're also having to match this minimum wage. I mean, what does this mean for the broader environment when we're talking about costs and pricing?
Cost and pricing, I think, interestingly enough, the acquisition of Whole Foods was a nice boon for Amazon in that Whole Foods operated on a 5%, 6% margin. Amazon typically was at 2% or negative. Now, all of a sudden, they're seeing $2.5 billion in profits, that they hadn't seen before because of getting those things. I think as they diversify their business into acquiring other types of businesses with higher margins, like media, that might be a way in, I think.
I think you're also going to see individual categories being hit by tariffs that people rely on Amazon for that they never thought of. Power supplies.
Exactly.
Right? Like, who doesn't buy a battery or an iPhone charger from Amazon without a thought? You're going to see that price rise because it specifically has a tariff on it.